Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and we are now in maps and PoE 2 and having some fun. We are now level 71 and we haven't actually done our third ascendancy yet, but overall we're having a pretty good time with the Cold Monk. I kind of want to give you a little bit of a build update. First off though, the written guide, which is linked down below, is pretty much always going to be a little bit more updated than the videos. There's also people commenting, oh, you changed stuff. It's because, you know, I can update the written guide. I can't really update the video. They're working on getting variations added to the builds. And so I will put a lot of stuff in the text boxes. Please read those because it'll have extra stuff and extra things that you might need to know for the build. And so we are using Ice Strike here and a whole combination of other stuff to do a lot of freezing and a lot of chilling and just basically blowing up enemies, blowing up bosses, and our biggest nemesis right now is just ranged enemies. We're getting surrounded and murdered. My gear still is also pretty scuffed. We have, you know, some pretty okay gear. Ideally, you would want to have evasion energy shield pieces so that we can, you know, kind of get a little bit of benefit from our energy shield, because we want to use Ghost Dance once I have enough spirit for this to kind of give us back energy shield when we get hit. I don't have enough spirit, and I also don't really have any energy shield right now because we keep hitting evasion gear off the ground, like these 25% movement speed boosts. So yeah, pretty much looking for life resist on most of the main gear. I think having physical attack damage leached as mana, pretty important. My weapon here also has physical leached as life, which is pretty nice as well. We still do a little bit of physical damage with Ice Strike. But yeah, we'll just kind of show the gear here real quick so we can just get a quick idea of what's going on with this. If you don't know how to get sockets, just check my other most recent video with what's going on there. But there's all the gear. Basically, the main skill is going to be Ice Strike. We don't really use our quarterstaff strike at all, our basic attack. We also are using Unbound Avatar. I have this link to Persistence and all of the masteries just to give it a little bit more level, or a little more duration. This has like a 9.8 duration for having a higher level, and pretty much that does nothing. Like each level gives it 0.1 more second, which is kind of just pointless, but this is kind of just, you know, there. And they're int gems, so we have plenty of space for them. Ice Strike, main skill, Martial Tempo, Cold Infusion, and Primal Armament. We drop Primal Armament in here because we're going to be using Penetration somewhere else, which we'll talk about in a second. We're using Tempest Spell. Tempest Spell is absolutely just bonkers, and I maybe should potentially switch out Font of Mana here to make this do even more damage, because this skill, just like with its Shockwave, can hit pretty darn hard. And so basically you, like, when you hit with Ice Strike, you build up combo, and after hitting with 4 times, you can drop the bell, and every time the bell is hit, it does a little pop, and it can be hit 17 times now for the level I have it at, before it starts to before it's destroyed. And so that's pretty hard to do unless you're going to use some tech that we have here, which is Elemental Invocation. So this is another spirit skill, costs you 60 spirit. You get spirit from killing bosses in the campaign. I think there's like 4 of them that you get spirit from. And then I also have some spirit from my body armor right now. So that's how we're getting enough spirit to kind of handle everything and supports and stuff on our auras. But we get energy when we freeze, ignite, or shock an enemy. And we can fill up the tank up to 500. And then it will consume the energy in order to cast the skill that we're linking to this. And it costs amount of energy that's equal to like how much the base cast speed is. So we're using Comet, which has a gigantic cast time here of 2 seconds. And so normally we wouldn't be able to use this at all, but because of this, it triggers out instantly. We spell cascade it to cover a huge amount of area, and we have Cold Penetration. And the best part is this can hit your bell, and hit the bell a lot. And so enemies just kind of go when you bell and then hit them with the, you know, comet coming down, and you're also hitting it yourself. Still have Killing Palm in here for right now, just doing a little bit of soul and life drain. These are kind of just okay. Killing Palm's just kind of nice if you need to like finish or execute something. There are some enemies that appear to, like, once they get into execute range, like huddle up and stop taking as much damage. So it's nice to kind of have something to execute. And Sheola applies our curse. This does it instantly, so you don't have to wait for it to pop up. So Freezing Mark and Hypothermia, both of these make the enemy, you know, more vulnerable to freeze or take more damage. Chayula itself reduces the effectiveness of these marks and curses. But we have Heightened Curse, which does increase the effect of supported curses, which is pretty nice. Wave of Frost is kind of our oh crap button. It will like freeze enemies in front of us and kind of roll us back. And so especially when I'm getting like swarmed by something, I will just, you know, throw out 2 of these or even 1 of them and freeze everything and just blow it up. Frost Bomb, not actually even on my bar right now. Kind of want to try to get it back onto my bar. I might try to rebind my move here to like something else so that I can like actually, you know, force move very easily and get like Frost Bomb back into the build. But it's not there right now. Ghost Dance, we can't afford right now for Spirit. Something we'll get back in. And then Herald of Ice is super duper nice. We have Clarity, Cannibalism, and Vitality. These cost additional Spirit Reservation, so you might not be able to use them right away. But Herald of Ice by itself just makes it so that when enemies are frozen, they explode doing damage, which is pretty good. Does quite a bit of damage, it feels like. Looks like the average hit for that is like 2100 right now. And yeah, that's like pretty darn high. For Ice Strike itself, the normal hit is like 8k, looks like. Maybe about 9k on the other thing. So it's pretty nice to have those pop off. A pretty decent crit and other stuff going on. And this is our tree. I'm probably going to go and either pick up the Soul Springs or probably actually lead me through Grace just so we can get more spirit to like fill out some more auras and stuff in there. I think that you could potentially also even go I Am the Thunder if you want to get more like shocking or something. I don't think that going down to Scatter Them to the Winds is really any good, because this skill doesn't really seem to do much damage from the baseline tooltip here, and it costs quite a bit of mana, so every time you crit it's going to cost you even more. And also like basically removing our scaling from all of the penetration we have is kind of bad. And so this is kind of our tree right now. The thing that I would recommend is kind of just going over this way first and getting yourself this Coming Calamity, picking up Harness the Elements. These are kind of like 2 big nodes. Getting yourself the crit over here, the staff stuff, and then like creeping your way up here for more crit, picking up more damage over here. Now I'm considering kind of like rolling back some of my damage at this point and getting maybe some like more evasion coming from here. Right now my chest armor is not really all that great. Or maybe even just going over here and getting some energy shield. If we had more energy shield, this would probably be more of a play. But like the defenses are kind of like rough because it just kind of feels like our resistances aren't capped yet. And then we are also, you know, like not super duper juiced on gear. Like some of our stuff is things that we've had for quite a while at this point. Like especially our rings, I'm trying to replace them. But I'm trying to buy one so like 2, 3 Exalted just for a blue ring that has like life and res. So things are pretty expensive right now. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay here. Just give you an idea of this. Also on the tree here, we were going mostly dexterity and a little bit of int, but now it's kind of mostly int and a little bit of dexterity. I think you need 131 intelligence for meteor or for the comet skill to drop down. I pressed the wrong button here. Please don't crash. This button. So Comet has 133 intelligence requirement, so that makes it pretty difficult. And then we're going to need to get our dexterity up so we can get a better weapon. So it's pretty rough. So let's see here what we got. This is just like a tier 1 map. As you can see, we just like walk up and freeze. And then once we froze enemies, we can summon a comet. And that can charge up a whole bunch. So we can drop down on enemies that are kind of scary to us, especially ranged guys. I like to just throw it at the throw it at ranged guys basically. It's gonna be kind of hard to do commentary on this because you know, maps are a little bit scary right now. And this gives you an idea a little bit of what the gameplay looks like. And, you know, that was a rare in there. It kind of just explodes. And with the physical to mana, we are, you know, keeping our mana up pretty well. Except for anytime we use the, you know, the comet, the mana like kind of plummets here. Because it has quite a high mana cost here. Oh, we have maybe somebody who wants to buy something from us. Oh boy. Ooh, those are like scary guys over here. As you can see, you pretty much just like lock stuff down. Really the things you need to watch out for are ranged enemies. They can really mess your day up. And I pretty much just like, if I see them, that's when I will drop the comet down on them. Just to try to like lock them up a little bit, because they will you know, get stunned, get frozen, get chilled. But like you can pretty much like be very aggressive with your comet as well. Like you're gonna have it up pretty fast. It's like every time you're chilling, every time you're freezing, or every time you're anytime you're freezing or hitting the like a shock on an enemy, you're getting basically juice for your comet spam. If I see ranged enemies, if I get body blocked, anything, you know, I can also, ooh, I'm gonna get exploded here. I can also, if I don't have comet, just drop the frost wave here and just freezes everything. These enemies will stay frozen for like ever. It's like a 4-second freeze baseline, which I think is way long. Way long. I think that the freeze duration is there to make it very brutal for the player when you get frozen. But yeah, I'm like very much expecting to die to some shenanigans here with getting shotgunned by enemies. Very frequently, like we'll walk up on a pack of enemies and they'll have range guys, and yeah, won't be fun. You can also pop Unbound, and yeah, enemies just kind of delete. Unbound is just like my I need to do damage right now type of button. So, you know, just pop it when you have it. You'll slowly build up as you go, and definitely very nice for bosses. I try to like wait to hold it on bosses until they're frozen, and then you get the whole like combination with Bell and Cheula Mark and everything. Like Cheula is also pretty good for gap closing. It like will take you pretty far. Except if you, for some reason, are too far, you will just, oh lord, you will just palm the air, and I've died that way. I have gotten splatted by a boss as he shot me with a whole bunch of projectiles while I just gave him a high five. So yeah, pretty difficult. But hopefully you guys are enjoying PoE 2. For me, I think a lot of the zones and stuff are a little bit large right now. Getting a lot of trade messages here. Might have to pause the video and go deal with that. But hopefully let's finish this map up. I think right now, like selling any accessories that have like life or resistance are pretty good. There's just things that people need. I mean, even like these things that I'm selling are maybe better than what I have right now, because I, you know, just really haven't updated that kind of stuff. Also, essences can really help you craft some pretty good items, especially if you get the ones that have life on them. I can't really remember where in the campaign that stuff started dropping, but that was probably something that I should look into, like trying to target farm and find that stuff over and over again. But really the campaign just has like really gigantic zones, and maps kind of feel very similar to that. Like a lot of the zones feel very windy. Not every map has a boss to it, so you kind of have to like find, I think, every single elite on the map, and the elites like, or the boss won't show its location until you are at, you know, 50 monsters or less. So there's, you know, plenty of times where I'm just wandering around looking for the like spot that I didn't reveal, which I don't know, I just don't really enjoy that too much. Right now I feel like navigating is kind of like a dangerous thing, There we go. So that map is completed. Didn't die. Feels good. Let's get out of here. As you can see, though, when you pop all the cooldowns, the elites tend to evaporate. Just grab one of these, but hopefully this video helps you out. Like I said, check out the written guide down below. I'll try to keep it as updated as possible, and I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you again soon. Come by the stream. I'll be playing the game and answering questions and hanging out, playing rock music or power metal. See you again soon.